Welcome back. As we talked about, dozens of classified documents have been released on social media containing intel about China, the Middle East, and Ukraine. Let's talk about with Jamil Jaffer, founder, executive director of the National Security Institute, up late with me tonight to talk about it. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Great, Jim. How are you?
We're well here. So look, we can go through all your bona fides of how you've been through the system before. You know what you're talking about when it comes to issues like this. We've talked about cybersecurity in the past. Is this could we call this a hack, or how do you classify this?
Well, it doesn't look like a hack in this case, Jim. What it looks like is somebody took physical documents out of a classified facility, a secure compartmented information facility where you have top secret and secret material that's classified. And it looks like they took them out. It looks like they took them, to their house, a workroom or something. You see pictures of these documents that are posted online that look like they were actual photographs taken of the documents. You see Gorilla Glue and the like in the background. So clearly this was not taken, I don't think, in a skiff, but rather at somebody else's offsite facility where they took these physical documents.
Do you buy this idea that was floated before that maybe some of these are fabricated, or is it very possible these are the real deal?
Well, we know for sure that some of these documents have been modified since they've been put out on the internet. We know that because we've seen both the unmodified version and the modified version. So we know that, for example, it appears that somebody associated with the Russian government or a supporter of Russia has modified some of the numbers related to Ukrainian casualties and Russian casualties. But there have been some rumors suggesting that the entire effort is either an effort by the Russians to create misinformation or by the Americans, by our government to create misinformation. It doesn't appear that way at the current moment. At the current moment, a lot of intelligence officials seem to be telling media sources that this material looks credible. It looks like it's the real deal. And of course, there's stuff in there that's at least somewhat embarrassing to the United States in terms of our collection on allies and what we're reading about our allies. And so that would be an odd thing to put out there if it were a U.S. government plan.
And we've heard too from people within the South Korean government. We heard the soundbite before where they want a full accounting of all of this because they believe there was some sort of breach of trust on their end. Should it be a surprise to some of our allies that this is something that U.S. intelligence, this is stuff that is gathered, whether it's in the public forum or not?
No, I think it's fairly obvious to all of our allies and our adversaries alike that they collect on us, we collect on them. This is not unusual. I mean, the South Koreans are avid collectors of intelligence against the United States and other allies, so it's somewhat ridiculous for them to make that point. Now, that being said, of course, it is embarrassing when it comes out to their public that we're collecting on them, and particularly if there's something about what's going on internally, we think we can influence them, or as we saw with Israel, there's stuff going on internally, potentially based on these classified documents, that can embarrass the host government and cause them to react the way the South Koreans have.
In terms of how this information is getting out there, we mentioned it was posted on Discord, which is a pretty popular app for gamers, and a lot of people use Discord. We had Twitter. Elon Musk said he would not necessarily move to censor these documents if they were posted on Twitter. You had John Kirby say that these should not be reported on, the contents of which should not be reported on by the media out there. Do you agree with that stance?
I mean, look, I think that's unrealistic. I mean, I think in an ideal world, these classified materials would never be out in public. But once they're out in public, the idea that the media is going to not report on them and not describe them, I think is sort of, it's hoping for too much. Now, that being said, certainly you can request from whether it's media sources or platforms to take this material down because it is, unlawfully up there, and they can make their own decisions about whether to do that. This interesting question about Discord, why did the material end up there? I have sort of three theories, Jim, about how the material ended up there. One, it could have been a place where the person who stole the material was simply storing it temporarily so that nobody would find it, thinking this is, sort of hiding in plain sight. A second theory is this could have actually been a dead drop for somebody who's working as a foreign intelligence asset for a foreign government, a place for their handlers to get the material. And then third, it could have been just the way that they hoped to get it out. It didn't work as well. And eventually they or their compatriots posted it to Twitter and other social media platforms to get it further out. So we're not sure which one it is, but it could be one of those or some other reason that was posted to Discord in the first instance.
So as this happens, and obviously you'll do not you'll, but the government will do its own internal probe and try to figure out who went wrong here. Is this one of those situations where, heads proverbially roll at some point, or is this just the matter of doing diplomacy in this high-tech world?
Well, I do think that it's likely that, that there will be some measure of accountability. They're going to try and find the person who leaked these documents. That may be hard because a lot of these documents appear to be of the variety that anybody who had TSSCI clearance could get access to. Now, that being said, there were some documents that were more specific that, reviews by the joint staff, which reports to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That appeared to be sort of Defense Department oriented. So perhaps it's somebody in the Department of Defense, or at least if there are multiple leakers, one of the leakers was in the Department of Defense. So we'll see if they're able to identify who the person is. And then as far as larger accountability, obviously we have to do a better job tracking our classified material. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when you give a significant number of people clearances and you trust them with this and you vet them, you hope they keep them, safe. And if they don't, then you've got to take action. But it's going to be hard to really prevent this thing from happening going forward. It's going to be hard to figure out who did this in the first instance.
When I'm doing the research for these stories, I usually go through somebody's Twitter feed to see what they're talking about. And how many TV hits have you done on this today?
Getting up in number, probably eight or nine already in the last 24 hours, Jim.
I hope
this is the best one, of course.
Oh, of course. Always buttering me up, but also always willing to join us here on the Final Five. Jamil, good to see you again, my friend.
Thanks, Jim. You've got the best music for lead-in.
You know what? I was telling Loretto when he played Black Hole Sun, I didn't know we had it in the system. I was so thrilled to hear that. It appeals to the 90s awesome. In me.
Totally.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, Jamil. We're back after this on the Final Five.